Alright, I'll cut straight to the chase. You exactly know why you clicked on this video. And that is because of attachment issues. And yes, I suffer through the exact same thing. Right? Maybe these attachment issues arise because, you want to talk to that person in your class. Maybe you have a crush on them. Maybe you guys are talking and you want to deepen your relationship or friendship, but they're not responding to you on text, or they're not responding fast enough, and you think, oh, maybe they're busy thinking about someone else. Or maybe they're busy thinking about another boy and I should just step down. I have dealt with this same issue before. When I was a kid, or not when I was a kid, but when I was in sort of 9th grade or 8th grade, I had this girl in my science class. And we became good friends, right? Because we were desk partners, so we kind of had to talk to each other, because that's what the teacher is, right? You have to talk to each other about your issues or about the assignment on task. And so that's what we did. Right? We shared each other's contacts. We talked online about the assignment. Heck, we even started to talk not outside of school, not just in class, but walking to classes, maybe getting out and all that stuff, right? The one thing though that dragged me back was over the course, I think, of 3 weeks, she didn't talk to me that much, right? Because she wasn't online as much, or that's what I thought, right? Because she didn't respond to my texts again. And using my advice from the previous video, I thought that, I was just being stupid. She was busy. I gave the benefit of the doubt. But I don't think that that was true. And I soon realized that she apparently was interested in another person, right? She wanted to talk more to another person, another boy, than I did. I didn't really care at that time, but once I realized that fully that she didn't really care about me, she just wanted to, ask me answers and all that stuff, I'm like, okay, well, instead of now thinking about her all the time, you might as well just change your mindset, right? And just focus more on yourself. But the attachment is still there, right? The attachment of, oh, we might be closer, we might have an actual better, deeper understanding of friendships rather than just surface level, I know you, you know me. Sadly, that didn't go to plan, and so attachment issues started to arise. My grades started to drop down because I was trying to, focus on my task at hand, but I was also trying to focus on talking to her in class, and so, it didn't really work out too well. And guess what? My final came in, and I didn't get the best mark. And so, that's what the problem is with attachment. And it's super hard to get rid of, because it's not like you could just chop that person off and you will never think of them again. Guess what? That's not true. Shit show. People have to know that attachments is really hard to get out of, because you want to have a deeper understanding of that person, but you just don't have the effort or the time, or there's no communication. In order to get rid of attachments, personally, in my experience, it would just literally be distancing myself a little bit. But not like no longer talking to them or no longer texting them. Distancing them as in, she texts you this much, you text her back this much, right? That's just really how to get rid of attachments. I know it sounds dog water, right? It's not nice to, ignore someone. It's not nice to give them dry answers and responses, right? And that's completely true. But sometimes when attachments arrive, you kind of just get jealous. You feel like you want to be with them if you are a girlfriend or boyfriend, or you want to get closer to them as in being some of their best, good or better friends and more closer friends. And you just can't. So I would rather just have you shift the focus into something else. Have another distraction to distract that attachment. Because remember, attachments only can be defeated if you have something else to do. Because if you don't have anything else to do, your mind is filled with that thought of attachment. But if you have something to do, then your mind is no longer attached. Why? Because you're thinking about something else that's rather more important than attachment, right? So for example, go out, walk, maybe say hello to your friends that you're more closer with or have been friends for a long time. Join a few clubs. Those things will keep you occupied to get rid of the attachment. Now, once you got rid of the attachment, then you're fine. Now, I just want to make it clear that I do not mean to drop a person. When I mean to cut off attachment, I don't mean to stop being friends with them. I just mean you are now returning back to a normal position, in a neutral stance where you're just friends with that person. You're not thinking about them in a deeper sense. You're not thinking about them into getting a relationship. You're not thinking about them being a closer friend. You have your friends, and she's a friend of, or she or he is a friend of you. That's it. There's nothing else, right? That's what we call getting rid of an attachment. It's not to block people. I don't get where that's from. It's not to ignore her or him. I don't know where that came from either. It's just about returning back to when you first met her or him. Just as a human being, have conversations, right? That's literally it. I don't get it when people say, oh, we're going to block her or him, because, it's not good. It's just, it doesn't make sense, right? So have something else to do while you are busy trying to get your tasks done. The attachment will slowly grow out. Why? Because she's no longer part of you, or he or she doesn't really care about you that much anymore. And so now you're just people that you know. And yes, it will sting, and yes, it will hurt that, no, I could have been in a closer relationship. But sometimes people just don't click. Sometimes people just think they click. They think that, they found the one, but in reality, they're really opposite. And so that's why. Sometimes opposites will attract. Sometimes you'll have a girl or a boy that will be completely against any stereotypes you've ever met before. And you have a boy or a girl that also beats any stereotypes. They're opposite and they, click on. That is possible. Sometimes it's also possible when people are similar. But most of the time, it's going to be hard for you to find that person that you really genuinely think that the attachment is worth it. And so I would just rather have you focus on something else. Again, it's your life. It's your faux It's no one else's. And like William Shakespeare has said many times before in his plays, you only worry about yourself and the people that are really close around you, right? They always have this saying that, you keep your friends closer and then the enemies even closer. That's the same thing. You keep your attachments close, but you keep the people that are close to you closer, right? That's the only way that this would work. Sorry, the advice might be a little bad because I had no script today, just like I didn't have script with any of my other videos. So I'm very sorry for that. But I still hope that I gave you some type of valuable advice because, I just want to help some people out. So thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys next time.